For the first act of this MUCraft video, yeah, you guys are gonna die. I don't really want you here anymore, and I could use your experience, so nothing personal, you're just going to not live anymore. This isn't working as I had hoped. Well, actually, this isn't half bad. The main reason I am offing these chickens is mainly just because I am going to be doing a lot of reworking here on this side of the island for the episode. And yeah, I need both this farm done, so I need to go and dig all that up. And I need these guys gone as well. And I have these guys at spawn, so it's not exactly like I'm going to be missing this machine or anything. And actually, I even have plans for another one of these, a 2.0 if you will, with 2 different versions of the chicken areas. So, say whatever you want, these guys just needed to go, and we might get a version 2 sooner or later. I need to actually go take out that lava, just so things aren't going to light on fire. Real quick, let's see. This is why I'm doing it on camera, because this could be so disastrous. Go. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Disastrous and hilarious. Oh, my gosh. I forgot that there were baby chickens down there. And now I have little baby chickens that need to kill too. Well, those are going to drown, so I might as well put them out of their misery sooner than later. Yeah, this is not as quick as I had hoped or anything, but yeah, these guys just needed to die. Just because I don't feel like waiting for these guys to develop and then suffocate in that, I figured I would just knock this out and record it because I know this is going to be crazy. Ha! That was not the response I was thinking of. This is actually manageable. Huh. Well, that was anticlimactic. So you might be wondering, John, why did you just go and kill all of your chickens that were right around here? And that's actually because of something that I'm going to be building for my mine, actually. I'm going to be building a new entrance to my mine, one that's actually redstone-ified, and this one is going to be completely patched over, and it is going to be moved over here, and it's going to look a lot more cool. And yes, it is going to be redstone-based, and it is going to be on the border of the ocean. So, yeah, I got to get this as compact as possible, and to show you what I'm actually going to be building, I'm just going to pop into my redstone world, as it will be a lot easier to explain. So this is the basics of what I'm going to be building. Right here you have a little flush with the floor piston thingy. I don't know what to call this. All I can really say is what it does. It basically just drops you whenever you hit the button, and then it will retract. So if I step onto here, I will, boom, I will fall down, and that is just going to simulate falling into my mine. And of course I will have another way to get out of there. But yeah, that's basically all it is. And it may look kind of complex when you look around, but it's seriously this simple. This is the basic, this is as basic as it gets, and I just needed it to be a lot more compact, and I compacted it. I cut off both of these blocks on both sides, and so it's as compact as it's going to be, and I kept the glass here just because I honestly think the redstone is pretty. But if I go over here, you can also see the stripped down version with no glass or any funny business, and you can see a little bit of what it will look like, and then you will just walk on here, and then you would go into your mine and do your branch mining and all that. So yeah, let's go build it. Alright, so that is definitely not as big as I thought it was going to be. I really thought it was going to take up quite a bit. I probably could have left that chicken thing here. Oh well, they were annoying. So, let's go ahead and see how this works in survival. I have gotten some water down there at the bottom, and alright, so, whoop-ah! And now we are down in the mine, and currently I have been digging a lot of space. The mine actually didn't extend out any this way. I had to dig all of this out, and I also kind of misshot it a little bit. It is a little bit over from the actual cavern. But that isn't to say we can just expand down here and create our own little slime farm, even though it's just kind of barren right now. Though, this is pretty much my only way out right now, the staircase, and I've just kind of left that there. I do plan on making a little ladder upward that will maybe even go into my house, which would be cool, but I don't know. Let's go ahead, pop back on up here, and I actually do have something that I want to get rolling a little bit. I do want to actually start building something in the end, because we actually have access to the end now without an Ender Dragon all there, and let me just go to the end and I will talk to you guys more there. First and foremost, I figured I would give you guys an update on the dimension that is the end. So if I hop on in here, you're going to notice that there is no Ender Dragon. It's just kind of chill and peaceful here, and that is actually really, really good. I think I originally said in the first episode of MUCraft that, the Ender Dragon had not been slain in the first episode, and now it is, and that is mainly just due to some people just getting on and doing it, and I wasn't there for it, so can't really blame them for having fun on their server. They have just as much right doing that, but now we don't really need to deal with the Ender Dragon at all, which is actually a good thing. If you saw where we were, I'm just grabbing some experience while I'm here. If you saw where I was, it was at the edge of the map, and it was actually perfect for starting to branch out for an Ender. If you don't know what that is, it's basically just an incredibly effective Enderman farm that can be built really far out. I hate when that setting turns on itself. I don't know why the music just turns itself on. It always seems to, which is weird. If anybody knows why settings wouldn't save, I don't know. Message me about it. But as I was saying, if you don't know what an Ender is, over here it is a it would be off in the void, and it is an incredibly awesome XP grinder. It's mainly just for whenever you defeat the end. And if you look around, all of these Endermen would actually spawn over there, since it would be built out of the loaded chunks of the actual end. So really, all we have to do to start doing this is to branch out and start following the tutorial. So, not a whole lot to it. I mean, honestly, we can start pretty much whenever, which is what I'm about to do. Alright, so it's been a few days now, and I figured I would update you guys on the situation. So currently, I am on the way to the Ender, and this little pathway right here that I built, majority out of iron, which is awesome that it's even that abundant. You got some water on top, standard stuff to keep Endermen from not spawning, glass, yada yada. And then down here, I went all the way down to level 2. I couldn't really get down to level 1, but yeah, I've just been kind of watching and rewatching Ethos Ender spawners, and I think I got the concept down about how this is gonna work. So I've built this little collection area down here, and right now it doesn't look like much, but currently it is going to just serve as my hub for building upward, because that's the main thing I need to do right now. Let's see, I need to drop pretty much all of this off into chests. So let me just grab some of this jungle wood. I don't really want to waste all this oak wood. It really doesn't matter on whatever. Okay, so throw that, and then we just need to drop this stuff off, because this is all just construction stuff. All these pistons, I was deathly afraid of losing these, mainly just because that would be a huge, huge waste of wood. Everything else I have is abundant enough that I don't have to care about it. But it is nice being able to do this and not having to worry about the resources pretty much at all. I haven't worried about needing to craft anything. I haven't had to go get materials yet. So overall, I think I'm doing pretty dang cool. And I also brought some ender pearls from just a little collection facility up there to get down, and yeah. So let me go ahead, finish throwing all this stuff in, and then I can show you just a little bit of the area. So obviously you got some anvils. That's going to be a big thing about in here, just being able to get the experience to get enchant and rename stuff, repair enchanted stuff, and of course you also need to be able to enchant up to level 30, which I have accomplished. I'll just go my chest plates. Bada boom, you can get to level 30. And then you might also be wondering, what's with all the chests? Why not solid blocks that the Endermans land on? This is where the Ender Pearls are going to go. I was thinking about putting hoppers there, but I figured people's inventories are just going to flood up enough. Might as well just let them put them in there themselves and whatnot. So, yeah, and then it's just kind of a little cozy area. I wish I could move this up one more, but it's that, like, it's either I move this up one and then I have to go and cover the water because then they become top slabs and Endermen can spawn on those, or I have to go and pour water on them and then water will be dripping in here. So I think this is the lesser of two evils. So yeah, I think everything is going pretty well. I mean, a lot of this stuff is just really, really repetitive, and so whenever I get the basic areas up here done, I will show you guys that, but until then there's not a whole lot to show. Things have been going pretty well. I got materials out the wazoo and iron out the wazoo. That's what I'm going to be building all of the towering stuff up with. I'm going to maybe be building the rings with this. I'm definitely going to be using those blocks of iron to build up the actual spawning platforms up there. It's gonna look really, really rich. Like, nobody's going to be able to touch that unless it was made of diamonds. That's the only other way I see. Maybe gold, but iron, still rich as fuck. Alrighty, so it would appear that with a few spawning pads built, we are rolling in Enderman XP. And I've actually been testing this out quite thoroughly, I guess you could say. Let me just show you my armor real quick. Pretty dang nice, anyway. I was going to go up and show you guys what I'm doing, and what are you doing? Oh, yeah, that's one thing. They can hit me if I walk close enough, but it's not normally a big concern. Oh, shit. Where did you come from? Alright, might be a little more of a concern than I thought. But I'm going to pop on up here and show you guys how it's all built. I'm not going to go through explaining how it all works, except for one of the spawning platforms, as Docm and Etho have pretty good videos on it if you want to check it out yourself. Especially Docm if you want a tutorial, and if I remember I will put a link to that in the description. But let's go ahead, pop on up here. I only have enough string for one more spawning. Actually, no, I have enough string for two. Alright, so I guess we can get working on an entire layer here. So the first thing I always do whenever I start a new layer is just build directly off of what I was working on. So place blocks all along this string here, and this actually does use tripwire as opposed to Doc's. He just has pressure plates here that push the Enderman off, and I find that might be, oh, I don't think I looked at any. I think that prevents mobs from like glitching out all of these pistons, but at the same time, whenever these are retracted, even though it is only for a really short amount of time, it will just prevent mobs from spawning for that brief moment. But I think that'd be better than a spawn piston getting glitched and then it wouldn't be able to be used at all. And then alright, so the second thing I build up here is the area that is going to be for the piston. So that's where the Endermen will spawn, and then from here, this right here is our area that will hold the redstone and activate the pistons. So let's go ahead, branch on over here. Okay, so I go out to about there, and if you're curious, this is 15 wide, and so that's the maximum extent of the redstone signal. That's why I chose that signal, or that's why I chose that length of it. You could really go as far as you want as long as you have enough redstone current for it. So alright, so let's go ahead. So I need to be one more layer up when I start building the tripwire and stuff, so right about there, and then that one needs to go. Does that need to go one back? No, that's good where it is. So place you the wrong side. Do it the wrong time when you're teaching people. Alright, so let me go grab my torches, and then this signal would need to invert whenever the tripwire would be activated. So this will actually activate our hopper clock. That is what is powering this, and if anything spawns on there, it is going to push mobs out this is even going to work when I'm up here. That's neat. But yeah, as you can see, it just pushes them off. Like, you can't really see the clock part of it. But you do get... I hear an Enderman sound that's mad at me. That doesn't comfort me. But you do get a clock output as opposed to just a single time use one, just in case any of them spawn in multiples. All right, so yeah, actually, okay, yeah, hoppers, everything's gonna be perfect for this one. I just realized. Let's go ahead, comparator. Gonna read that signal, and then that'll be out. Let me make some redstone, and then I'm done with hoppers for a little bit. Place down your redstone, and at the same time, you're going to want to put some half slabs up here as well, which is what I've been doing. I have just trying to... I've been trying to eliminate as much possible area that the Enderman can spawn up here that aren't these spawning pads. These little spawning... Why do I keep doing that? Every time I try to teach people stuff, things backfire. Okay, so let's go ahead, pop on up here. And I'm just slabbing everything as much as I can just to keep Enderman at bay from spawning on stuff. This is so cool that I can watch it. I'm at that height now. I didn't really think about that. All right, so now I'm going to finish up this layer so you guys can repeat it and mirror it. So let me go ahead. Like normally I've just been doing like the basics, like the floors on each of them, the basic backings and whatnot. All right, so let me go ahead, tower up here. So that is the height that I want. It would be 3 off from the platform. So 1 middle there, and then you're going to... Oh wait, there's 2. Yeah, it's just always going to be parallel with the redstone. That's what I've found is good. So let me grab back that string, and we can place our tripwire. So this is what the Endermen are going to spawn and then trip, so they'll be pushed off and leave more room for more to spawn. Let me go ahead, pop down there. All right, and then to make sure this is working, let's see. Oh yeah, got to put an item in there. Boop. All right, so now if I do that, yep, you'll get a little clock pulse, and then that'll push any Enderman off. And this will also prevent just like glitching into the pistons, which is good, because if they're still here, they'll activate the tripwire no matter what, and they'll be retracted, and the pistons will retract. Oh, the pistons will retract and do that. So I think the only thing really left for this layer is to add the pistons, which is normally the last thing I do on all of these. Let me put some blocks here just so Endermen can't like walk right into this tripwire area where the hook is, and so they won't be able to get there. Let me go ahead. Okay, wait. All right, go. And now we have risk of being pushed off, but that is all good and dandy. Let me go ahead and hop on up here. Whoop. And if you see, yep, as soon as any bit of this tripwire is activated, there will be a clock, and then it'll push whatever is there, even me, out of the way. And now all I really have to do is mirror that over here, add some slabs, add some blocks, and yeah, just pretty much repeat what I've been doing for a few more platforms. Alrighty, I'm finishing up the final platform here, and yeah, that's about all there really is to it. I mean, just remember to half slab stuff, make sure there's no 3-block high areas in here, and you should be good to go. Well, 3-block high as in, like, not on your spawning platforms, obviously, because that's where the Endermen will be, and then they get pushed in. And if you're curious as to how to build one of these things based off just this video alone for some reason, really all you have to do, I will go down here and explain the bottom mechanics, but it was basically just what I've built repeated upward and mirrored. So you can just follow that design all up through there, basically. And then from here, it is going to, I'll push them into this little area here, which is pretty much just an area that resets fall damage. And so what happens here is all of the Endermen, regardless of where they fall from, they can spawn right here, or they can spawn at the platform we just built up there. But they all fall into here, and then the vines all reset their fall damage. So they can fall as high as they want. We can build this thing up to the top of the world, fall down here. They're still going to get their fall damage reset. And so what happens there is they fall down, and then they take all of the damage that they can really do without dying. So that basically makes them one-hit KO primetime targets. And so what happens there is they're just easy to one-hit punch with your fists. And so basically all this is 2 vines and then a button on the bottom. You can use signs or anything that won't obstruct the hitbox of the Enderman falling through. And then from there, all you have to do is just build these little rings 43 blocks down. So from this button layer all the way to where your Enderman will be falling, mine for that is to the chests. That'll have a 43 block gap, 43 air blocks, including this. Oh, you can even see the concept right there. 43 air blocks from the button to the chests, and then they will take damage to the point where it's only 1 hit. And also, I went into getting a bunch of materials to do this little ring thing all the way down, all the way up into this little damage reset area. These are just 2 blocks apart, and it prevents the mobs from blasting themselves out of the spawner. And so, yeah, it pretty much just keeps them from bouncing around. That's basically all there is. And then you have an Ender grinder. It is pretty dang awesome to have. I have been enchanting. I have gotten more level 30s in the past day than I've gotten probably within the past year on just playing Minecraft, which is crazy to think about that we're this advanced. And honestly, this wasn't that difficult to build. Worst part was getting this platform out here and making sure that Enderman wouldn't spawn here. That was the worst of it. Personally, I mean, I didn't fall at all building that thing unintentionally. The only time I ever did fall was whenever I was like this low and trying to place blocks, because I would get pushed off by the water if I was not careful enough. But yeah, nothing really got destroyed, and in the process we got ourselves a really sweet XP grinder. And as you can see, I didn't have a whole lot of layers. I plan on extending that a whole hell of a lot more. And look how efficient this is. It's pretty dang awesome. I hope you guys get an idea for maybe your own survival world, or maybe just mess around with it in creative, because either way, it's still incredibly fun to just kill Endermen. And one idea that I'm going to try and implement pretty soon, I have no idea when I'll be able to though, because it's based on the withers. I'm going to try and put a beacon in here just so there is a regeneration effect. I saw this on MUCraft and thought it was a brilliant idea, so I thought I would, whenever I get an actual nether star, I would actually put one in here, maybe put my first one in here as opposed to just in my base or in spawn or something, because here it could definitely be useful whenever you're just going around hitting Enderman. You don't need to eat. You can literally just go on a binge. You don't even need to eat whenever you're down here. That would be really cool, but sadly I don't have anything efficiency 4. Not bad. That might actually be my first efficiency 4 one I've gotten. Awesome. Anyways, that about wraps up the Ender. I don't know what time I'm at with this episode now, so I'm gonna go and check it out in the editor, and I will make my decision there. Alright, yeah, so we are about at the amount of time that I want these episodes to be, so I'm going to go ahead and end off this episode here. I hope you guys have enjoyed me building this little Ender XP farm, which is amazing. It is just fantastic, and experience is now abundant, as well as enchantments. So I am looking forward to being a lot more advanced on this server and sharing the wealth equally. And yeah, I don't think there is anything that I want to just ask the general audience this time, kind of like what I did last time. But last time I did ask you guys what I could do with all of those iron blocks that I got, and somebody suggested a prison/mob spawner around the island. And that's actually a really good idea. Whenever I saw that, I just thought, Okay, mob spawner, yeah, I was already thinking that because I live around water, but that is definitely something to use the iron for. That is crazy. And yeah, that's actually what I'm thinking about doing next episode, so thank you for that suggestion. Oh, wow. I didn't even think I would get that far. Alright, so let's see. Enchantment. I've seriously just enchanted so many books and not gotten a single Silk Touch one. That's a shame. Anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching this episode of MUCraft. Hope you guys have enjoyed and at least learned a little something. Yeah, I will see you guys next time.